The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, welcome everyone to today's webinar entitled, Why Should I Care About Obamacare If I Don't Have Health Insurance and I have less than 50 employees? Why do I even need to worry about this? Well, my name is Greg Downing, and I have spent the last year and a half to try to answer all these questions and figure out the simplest, easiest, most cost-effective way for small employers to offer benefits to their employees. So a lot of people don't think that they're going to be impacted by this if they're not currently doing it now, providing health insurance, that is. Well, you couldn't be more mistaken, because this actually could benefit you quite a bit. Now let me explain to you why that is first off, that most of your employees will actually qualify for health insurance at little or no cost through the federal health insurance marketplace, or the exchange as they were originally called. And also, as it turns out, providing group health insurance could actually be a bad thing for many employees, especially those ones that have family coverage. And of course, if you don't have more than 50 employees, you're not required to actually provide group insurance, and there's no penalty or fine for not doing that. Another thing that occurs a lot, and I know several people that are like this, is they're bright individuals. They have families that may have special health needs, and they've continued to work for a large employer that provided group health insurance because they just didn't feel safe to leave because they were concerned about their family. Now, in 2014, all that changes because of Obamacare. So it creates actually a rather nice opportunity for small employers to recruit some of these, what I call quality individuals out there that have always worked for the large corporations. Now, the thing that's the game changer, and I mentioned it briefly, is the state exchange, or as they're called now, the marketplace, the health insurance marketplace. And the reason they've changed the name is that many of the people that would qualify to go to the exchanges speak Spanish, and exchange doesn't translate to anything in Spanish. So they said, oh, that's not a good idea. So they moved it to health insurance marketplace, which actually makes more sense. And so that's why they have two names for it. Now, this is not, a grand concept that they've come out with. It's not a brand new idea. Basically what the bill says is that, hey, every state will set up an exchange where individuals can go access health insurance, compare. It's easy side-by-side shopping, kind of like when you buy airline tickets or booking hotels. You can even buy health insurance like this today. So it's not a brand new idea. The new thing about this is that there is going to be massive subsidies to pay for individuals' health insurance, and it's rather overwhelming once one understands how that works. Now, who is actually going to qualify to get the subsidies to help them pay for their health insurance in these marketplaces? Well, first off, anyone that doesn't have access to affordable health insurance, i.e. an employer-sponsored plan. So if that household, if neither the husband or the wife, if that's the case, has access to health insurance through their employer, that's the first step. The second one is that their household income is between 100 and 400% of the poverty level. Now, if you're like me, I don't know what they're talking about. That doesn't mean anything to me. So I had to do some research, and now I know what that means. And here is a chart. It shows the 2013 federal poverty level guidelines. And as you can see, if you are a single individual, you can make up to almost $46,000, and you're going to be able to qualify for subsidies under Obamacare. So anyone that makes in between this amount will qualify for subsidies. And this is kind of interesting here. If you look, say, a family of four, the household income can be up to $94,200, and that household could still qualify for subsidies to buy for health insurance. So think about how many of your employees might fall into this category, because these are not the downtrodden poor. This is middle-class America. It's a big chunk of what America looks like. Now, how did the subsidy work? And normally when I think of subsidies, I think of, okay, I get, a certain amount of money to go buy, food stamps or go buy whatever it is. But with this, it's a little different in that it's more of a capitation of my responsibility to pay for insurance premiums. And the way it works is if I make 100% of the poverty level, I would only have to pay 2% of my household income to buy health insurance. And then it gradually works its way up to 9.5%. That's what the government considers affordable, is anybody that if you can pay 9.5% of your income towards health insurance and it's affordable. So if I make $400,000, well, that'd be a lot, but if I make 400% of the poverty level, I would have to pay 9.5% of my income to buy health insurance, but that's still a pretty good deal. For an example, let's just say that I'm married, I have a kid, I'm the only one that works, I make $29,000 a year. Well, the way the poverty level works, a family of three, I'm at 150% of the poverty level, and I will qualify only having to pay 4% of my total income towards health insurance. And when you do the numbers on that, that works out to be about $96 a month for me to provide health insurance for myself and my whole family. And if that's even a little too expensive, I can drop down to the lowest plan, or the base plan, which is the lowest plan, which is the bronze plan, and I probably could get that plan for free, just depending on the cost of it through the exchange. Now, what's shocking to me about all this is that when we think about how many people can qualify for subsidies, we estimate that close to 70% of the population makes less than 400% of the poverty level. In Texas, our average household income is $48,000 a year. And so there's a lot of individuals / your employees that are probably going to qualify for these subsidies unless you provide a group health insurance plan. Now, this is an example of how it's kind of the old school of what employers thought about health benefits, and then how different it's going to be under Obamacare. So let me just use a little example here to show you how you'll be able to compete a lot better against the big boys when it comes to recruiting employees. So let's pretend like you're employer B, because you got it happening and you got the hairdo and the goatee, so you're going on. Employer A, the old school employer, and then I'm the guy in the beautiful tie with my lovely wife who doesn't have a face, and then my two children. I'm looking for a job, and so I have two offers. You, as employer B, has offered me a job, and employer A has offered me a job. The difference, employer A is going to give me $55,000 a year. What's attractive about his organization is they provide a group health insurance plan, and they contribute $5,400 towards that group health plan. So that gives me a total compensation of $60,400. What I like about this is that I believe my wife is pregnant, and I've got a child that has some medical conditions, and health insurance is very important to me. So what I know is if I go to work for employer A, that everything I pay for health insurance will be done pre-tax, so I save on that. I don't have to worry about being declined. Everything is, my pre-existing conditions will be covered, and maternity, mental illness, things like that are covered under the group plan. Now, I really want to work for you, Mr. Employer B, because you're cool. You got a cool office. You're paying me more in salary. Actually, you know, the salary ends up being the same as Employer A, except he's contributing that, you know, the compensation, because he's contributing $5,400 to health insurance. But you don't have a group health insurance plan, and that worries me as a family man trying to do the right thing. So I'm going to go home and think about it, who I should work for. And since I want to work for you, Mr. Employer B, I will go over here and I'll look at, okay, so that's my salary, and that's also my taxable income that I'll have to pay. And unfortunately, you have no health insurance, so there's no contribution from you as an employer. And this number here, which I know is like really big, but that's the average cost for a group health insurance or for family coverage in 2012. So we just use this to say, you know, on both sides of the fence, that's how much it would cost. So if I were able to get health insurance, we're assuming that's how much I'd have to pay for the whole year. And then you can see my tax liability. So I end up with about $36,784 in net income. Not, you know, not as much as I'd like, but it is what it is. So I go back and look at your competitor, Employer A, Mr. Big Boy, and what you'll see is that my taxable income is a lot less because my salary's less, and he's contributing $5,400 towards benefits, which are tax-free, and my contributions for family coverage is tax-free as well, so I have a much lower tax load. So shebang, at the end of the day, it's about $2,200 more in take-home pay for me, plus I got the peace of mind knowing that my wife's covered and pre-existing and all those things. So in the past, I'm probably going to go to work to Employer A because he has a little bit more of a comfort zone and he has things going for him with the health insurance program. Now, post Obamacare in 2014, like I said, everything changes. We already know what Mr. Bad Hairdo, I mean, it's really, come on. Looks like Larry. I knew a guy named Larry looked like that. So Larry, Employer A, but I'm liking what you got going on here, and you're doing cool stuff. And like I say, everything changes now. So it's 2014, and federal subsidies now are going to be available to me because he didn't provide a group plan. Everything is guaranteed issues. There's no underwriting. All pre-existing conditions must be covered. Things like maternity, mental illness, chemical dependency, perhaps I should have another drink, are all covered. So it's same, and except I'm going to get the subsidies, so let's see what that looks like. So over here with you, Employer B, because that's where I want to work. We've already gone through this, but this is the shocker. Whoops, let me go back. Is look at this amount right here. That is a government contribution for me to buy health insurance. Wow, that's a lot of money. Yes, it is. And my cost is only $4,976. I say only, it's a lot of money, but compare that to what I was paying over there with Employer A, you know, it's not quite half the cost, but it's way down there. And so if you'll look down at the bottom, you know, it's $7,400 more in take-home pay by you not doing anything but offer me a great job. Now, let me back up a little bit here. So the thing to remember is, remember how I said that the subsidy simply is a capitation. So if I make $60,000 a year, I'm at about 250% of the poverty level for a family of four. So I'm capped out at, it's a little over 8% that I have to pay towards benefits, and that's what this number is right here, is it's what I have to pay. So who cares about this number? This is what I have to pay. Now think about this. If my income stays the same, I'm always going to be capped at the same percentage. But what happens next year if that number is, say, $20,000? Because we know health insurance is going to go up. There's no doubt it's going to go up in 2014. Well, if it's $20,000, it makes me no difference because I'm still going to be capped at the 8%, and the government will pick up the rest. So regardless of how much that costs, this is always going to be my cost. On the other side, with Larry over here at employer A, if I went to work for him, me and him have to figure out where in the world are we going to get enough money to cover $20,000 for health insurance cost. So as you can see, providing group health insurance post-Obamacare can actually be more of a deterrent than a benefit. So that's good for you. That's why this is important. Hello. All right. Well, I kind of spoiled the fun. This is just how crazy all this is. It's, we hate it, we love it. Oh, really? Oh, well, this is pretty good. Now, don't ask me where all the money is going to come to pay for this. I'm not here to make a political statement, just here to help you out. Now, here's another thing that you probably didn't know. Did you know that employees can pay for individual health insurance with pre-tax dollars? They can run it through payroll, and they can pay for it pre-tax. Saves you money, saves them money. Also, if you ever decided that you did want to contribute in some way to your employees' health care, you could do it in a health care allowance. You could say, hey, we're going to give everybody $200 a month in a pre-tax allowance, and they can use it to buy health insurance or deductibles or dental, whatever they want to do. So there's a lot more flexible things to do out there in the post-Obamacare era for small businesses that just simply are not going to provide group health insurance. And if the government's going to subsidize all these individuals, I would hope that you would educate your employees and make sure that they're ones that get it. Because if your competitors do all the education and train them and they get them, you've lost out. So why try to compete with the government? Because I don't think you're going to be able to cough up $9 grand for health insurance to cover my family, but the government will. So here's what some of our clients are doing and what we see the future to be, and what most people on the cutting edge are saying, hey, here's what's going to happen. Group is on the way out. There's going to be things called individual private exchanges, defined benefit contribution, where, obviously if an employee or an individual doesn't buy health insurance, they get a fine, a tax penalty, whatever they want to call it. And so we're really moving towards more of an individual responsibility. If you look at this, we put together our own private individual health exchange or benefit exchange, if you will, for our employees. As you can see, there's a toll-free number. It's open 12 hours a day, and our employees can simply call, because we don't provide group health insurance, and they're interested in health insurance and they want to know if they qualify for subsidies. They can click on here, call an insurance counselor that's licensed in all 50 states, and they can help them navigate through all this, what's best for them. And if they can help them get the subsidies, they'll do that. Maybe some people are concerned about dental, vision. They can buy that on an individual basis. If you want to subsidize it, that's great. If not, they have the option to pick and choose what they want. Now, we have a number of clients that saw this and go, hey, can you set us up one of these? And we said, well, sure. So, for less than $100 a month, we can, set you up your own private exchange with your company's name up here. And they can call and get service there. Or a lot of folks that are smaller, that may only have 20, 25 employees, they go, well, can't we just use yours? And I said, sure. So it's a real easy way, and they just kind of said, well, why don't you just kind of be our virtual benefits department, because we don't want to mess with this stuff. We hate health insurance. We don't understand Obamacare. Can you send out all the notices? And we go, well, okay. So that's something that we do for companies that don't have health insurance or are dropping their group plans or getting ready for 2014. So this is available because, quite frankly, everybody's a little different. Oh, you don't have to tell me that. So this way they have the flexibility that you're going to have some employees that just don't care. No matter how I've tried to help them, they don't care. They're not going to. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Some people are. And so this way you're not responsible. You've offered a vehicle for them to take care of themselves, to get the subsidies, to buy what they want. And if they choose to do nothing, it costs you nothing, and they can pay the penalty or the fine for not buying health insurance. So we just see that this is the simplest and easiest way, and especially for people that don't provide group health now, it's an extremely easy, simple way to be very competitive with the larger companies to recruit and continue to attract and retain key employees, which is so important in a small business environment. Now, I'm going to wrap it up. I've gone through this stuff real fast, but feel free to email me. Go to our website. We have a lot of free programs that go in detail in this. We have a number of charts that you can see exactly where people would fall in, or feel free to call me. Well, don't use that number. I thought we put a real number on there, but we didn't. So don't call that one. I don't think that'll reach me, but this number is good right here. And I'm going to end the call because I know your time is valuable, and hope to see you soon or talk to you. And again, questions, give me a call, and have a great day.